Hi, Wenzel from Hooch here. Today I would like to talk about white noise, reality and perception. I'm going to be using Ableton Live to demonstrate my ideas. Here we got a software synthesizer. I'm just using this synthesizer to create frequency of white noise. So white noise is essentially, it's used also in science. It's essentially the generation of random frequencies in a specific spectrum. So in terms of music, in the case of music, it's the generation of audible frequencies. So frequencies from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. And they're just randomly generated. And this is how it sounds. Essentially sounds just like a waterfall. Reality, I think, is very much like white noise. Reality is a full spectrum of every possibility. I think perceiving reality, you use a filter. Actually, that's proven. When you perceive reality, you always use a filter to filter out relevant sensations. And I think that you use a filter not only perceiving sensations, but also perceiving another person. And that filter is a rational concept. So let's say you work in psychology and you deal with a patient. Now you could view that person, for example, as a human being, as another person. Or you could view that person as an organism, as a complex emotional organism that is constructed with the ego, the superego, the it, which is Freud's intellectual concept, rational concept. So these are essentially two ways of looking at a person. And the argument I'm making is that every rational framework you use is a filter. Meaning that you filter out certain things out of the vast spectrum of reality. So let's move on to a filter in music. Let's create that real quick. So we just duplicate the track, that same white noise, right? And now what we're doing is we are gonna throw a filter on it. So now I'm only filtering out certain frequencies, right? Okay, this is the equivalent to viewing a person in a certain way, essentially judging a person. Judging meaning fitting that complex organism that a person is into a specific rational framework, or observing an injury and saying, okay, this injury, these and these cells are damaged, and making a rational assessment of the situation. That's a filter. Okay, now we're gonna move on to a more specific filter. Let's say the result that we want is a kick drum. So we're gonna be using a filter that's automated. So check this out. You see this filter here? I drew a little automation that creates that attack. So this is the equivalent to a specific rational framework, filtering out certain frequencies. For example, making an argument, a rational argument, to take somebody's house away. Let's say you haven't paid your mortgage and the banker hires debt collectors that come to your house and take your house away. Now they have all kinds of documents that support the idea of taking your house away. That's like a kick drum. It's a very specific rational argument with a specific purpose. The purpose here of this filter is to take random frequencies, white noise, and put them into a category, or essentially select certain frequencies to create a kick drum that would be used in dance music. I mean, you could then add some drums and essentially have a little techno beat, you know? But this is obviously much nicer than creating a rational argument to take somebody's house away. So I'm going to be moving on to the next example, which is a very specific argument. And this is, for example, like the argument to create a sustainable future, right? An argument that benefits humanity. Now for this argument I'm using a stronger filter. You see here, this software synthesizer has a built-in filter with a more powerful amplification, so you won't be seeing the automation that I drew, but you can hear the results. These are the results. What this is, it's a filter filtering out the specific frequencies of a pentatonic. So while the random noise is generated, this filter here filters out pleasant tones that could be easily converted into a musical song, put some delay on it, engage some drums. Here we go, dance build up, then add the kick drum, you know. So this was a quick tutorial about reality, white noise, Ableton Live, software synthesizers, and rational concepts. And the core idea is that behind rational concepts is this vast thing that we call reality. Behind the filtering is this vast thing that is white noise. White noise is all frequencies that we can hear randomly generated. Reality is all situations that we can think of, maybe randomly, maybe God generates it, but reality is vast, and in order to perceive it we need to filter out certain things. And it is absolutely necessary to do that in order to navigate through the world. But it's also important to know that rational frameworks are essentially only filters. That means that there's this vast cosmic reality behind every one of our thoughts. And everything that we think is right is only derived from a specific filter. Every note that we listen to, when generated with a filter and a white noise generator, is only one frequency out of the whole spectrum of audible frequencies. So reality, white noise, filtering, concepts. Keep it going. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Thank you.